Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, episode 233, session 233 of these suckers. My name is Glenn Gers, and I come to you every Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, if I can make it, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to let you look over my shoulder, share my screen as I write a script. And I do this in order to let you see a part of screenwriting that I think is undertaught in the screenwriting teaching business, which is the process, the day-to-day, line-by-line work of getting thoughts into an outline, into a rough draft, into a rewrite, into a polish, getting the thing into script form. I'm not talking about what kind of script it should be. It could be a pilot, it could be a web series, it could be a feature, it could be anything. So that is it. I am just trying to let you see some tools, some tips, some techniques and skills that I picked up in my 25-year career writing for TV and movies. I am on my way out of the business and thought I would leave behind some of these things that were undertaught to me when I was learning. And I thought, that ain't fair. Why shouldn't I give it to those who are coming in now? And so that's what I'm doing, just letting you watch me walk through it. The main thing I'm doing is on my channel in the first 3 playlists. This is where I've tried to really think out certain topics. I made the topic the title, I made the topic the thumbnail. It's there in big, bright, clear letters, flashbacks, genre, dramatic action. Whatever it is, I tried to distill it down to about a 10-minute lesson that I tried to keep really practical, really useful, and really flexible, because everyone has to figure out their own way. Every writer has to figure out their own process. Every writer has to figure out what kind of work they want to do. There's not a right or wrong about any of this. So therefore, I'm just giving you some tools, some techniques. They're here in these videos. Screenwriting Essentials is the first playlist. Screenwriting Tools, Skills, and Craft is the second playlist. The Process, Being a Writer, that's the third playlist. If you go to my channel page, that's the first 3 lists, and those are the ones where I put all the gold, all the goodies for you at your convenience. Hello, Nathan. Good to see you too in Still Circle. Hi, Najo. Hi, Donna. You are very welcome. Hey, Ray. Good to see all of you. Now, I'm going to get right back to the writing part of things, because we are getting towards the end. We're getting towards the end of this script. So I am opening up my document. Yeah, we are on page 60 of a 67-page script. So there's only a couple pages left, but these are convoluted, packed pages, and I've got to figure out how to make them clear and simple and paying off all the threads of the pilot into a kick-ass ending, because really endings matter. Boy, you can get away with a lot of messed up stuff if your last 10 minutes pulls together and you suddenly say, oh, I see what this show is about, and I am curious as to what they're going to do with this problem they presented at the end. Because almost always at the end of a pilot, you raise some issue, some problem, something that the main character has to deal with. You spend a lot of the first episode setting up the world, setting up the people, but then towards the end of it, you really need to say, but there's this other thing. And that is what the job of a pilot is. So I've got to now get the other thing clear, because right now there's just too much stuff going on. Okay. These videos are dense and best viewed multiple times. I agree. I get new videos. I have to say, that kind of was my goal. My goal was to have something that is very, very dense and that you can probably do best to go through a couple times, because at least for me, that's how I learn anything. I'm not going to I'm going to get some excitement and some sparks flying the first time I read something, the first time I learn something, but it's going back over it that helps it sink in. And I really think that's actually partly the most important thing I can teach you about writing. Going back over it is where you, just by the nature of you seeing it with different eyes, you always look at your work slightly differently. And that continues on for years. You'll never really get done with this, but you do get to a point of like, this is good enough for now. Because that is the screenwriter's mantra. This is good enough for now. This gets the job done for now. When the director comes in, they're going to ask me to change 500 things. When the actors come in, they're going to ask me to change 500 things. When they get the location, they're going to change everything. So I know that this is just for now, but at least if I can get this part, which is the first thing, is the characters and the story, the action of each scene. If you get that, everything else you can figure out. Hello, Lisa SS, and hello, Manga Express. So here's the deal. I need to look at these last 4 pages, or seven pages, and figure out what the heck I have to accomplish in them. Because right now, what I've accomplished is Deakins, the serial killer who was framed for the murder of George in the first scene, has called to say, I was framed. This wasn't me. Which really changes everybody's perspective on what the hell's going on, because they were all like, we're going to hunt this serial killer. And he just called and said, don't hunt me. So now, what's left to understand? The end that I got to yesterday was the end of the sequence where they challenge him. They say, prove that you are who you say you are. And he does. He doesn't prove it fantastically. Like, it's not like definitive photographic proof, but he convinces them. And in fact, that's the word I use, because he is convincing. I'm not sure about this gently. I mean that he's not like, hey, what about this? What I mean is, having accepted it, he needs to know this. Can I ask? Then, can I ask? May I ask? Then, may I ask? May I? Is he a may I? Can I ask? Can I ask? Then can I? Then can I just ask? Can I ask? Can I ask? This is something you should do, by the way. Say the line out loud. See, then may I ask? That's polite, but Norman seems a little more gritty, streety, down to earthy. So may just sound, then can I ask you? Can I ask you? That's what it is. Can I ask you? Why did you stop? Then can I ask you? I'm just trying to think. Here's what I'm wrestling with, in case you're wondering, because I'm sitting here in silence and you don't know what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, I would like to add more description here, because there are stuff going on between the characters that is not in words. In other words, they are meeting each other's eyes and thinking things. And I don't want to add that because I don't want to add pages, but the truth is we kind of need it. So, well, we should okay, so here's the 2 stage structures that I'm wrestling with. I kind of think Okay. Crackers. Okay, because here's the thing. Okay, that's what's wrong. That's what's right. I have fixed it, so it's not wrong. I wanted to give a sense that all of them seeing at each other's on each other's faces, he is convincing. So now they've all been looking at each other. Shoot that as you will. Hi, Jane. But then then Norman just does his job, his thing, going a little further in depth. And Deacon's unexpectedly, and this is an important act, Norman is asking a question which could be journalistic or could be personal, in the sense that he's asking a further question, and the answer for Deacon's is personal, and he decides to treat these people like people, because he's never actually gotten to talk to anybody about this. And he makes a revelation which is huge, and that triggers Madeline to look at the crime crackers, because basically she's the only one who is not an investigator. Norman is a journalist, but he's still on the case, and the crime crackers have been hunting him. So Madeline is basically saying, we should tell the police it wasn't him. But Deacon says, please don't. Why not? Why not? Why on earth not? Why? Why on earth not? Is Madeline on Earth? Why on earth not? Why the hell not? Is she? Why on earth not? Why on earth not? Because they'll want to know how we know. Exactly. Yes, exactly. But if we don't, they'll waste time looking for you. Okay, so that is good, but now Madeline is changing the subject. And getting and they're catching. You know what? I think this is another thing that we. Oh no. You know what it is, and you have that evidence. And you have that evidence. Against me. And you have that evidence against me. So he's sort of starting here to be like, maybe you would consider not giving it in. And they might find me too. And they might find me. And they may find me, and they might find me too. Because that, if that, depending what George had, what your friend had. What the evidence, depending on what your friend had, the new evidence. Oh no, that's nothing. That's it. Oh no, no. Oh no, that's. Oh no, no. Sorry, no. Right. Oh no. Right. You don't know. Right. Oh, right. I'm so sorry. You don't know. George made it all up. He was just trying to bait you. That's, okay, this is not bad. Okay, this is going really fast, But you know what? I've got to say, I've been amazed when I watch a half-hour show, which especially when you talk about like network shows, we're talking 22, 24 minutes. You watch something like The Good Place. The Good Place is a, by the way, if you haven't seen it, The Good Place is quite something. Let me just recommend The Good Place. Boom. Well, boom. Okay, The Good Place. Let's emphasize that by highlighting it. There we go. Cover my face. The Good Place is it's a half-hour comedy show, but it's narrative. It's sequential. You need to follow it from the beginning. It's not a half-hour like random funny bits and then you just forget it. Wow, there's only 5 people watching. Something happened? Did I lose everybody? Okay, whatever. The Good Place. It's really good. It's really smart. The character development is amazing. The intelligence level is knockout. It's really good. It's about life and death and the meaning of life and death. And so the thing about that is it's a half-hour show, I believe. And which means that with commercial breaks, it's like 24 minutes, 22 minutes an episode. It is unbelievable to me what a good half-hour show gets into 20 to 30 minutes. I am used to just things that take their time. It is astonishing how fast you can reveal things, build things. It's quite knockout. So I'm going to take the chance here that this thing at 67 pages has the room to move fast. In fact, I'll probably go through it one more time and just try and tighten it up just a little bit. Anyway, please don't. Why the hell not? Why on earth not? Because they'll want to know how we know. Because they'll want to know how we know. Because how do we know? Because how do we know? Because how do we know? Because how do we know that? We should tell. Because how do we know that? Because they'll want to know how we know. Exactly. Yes, exactly. But if we don't, they'll waste time looking for you. And they might find me too. Depending on what evidence your friend had. Depending on what your friend had. New evidence. His new evidence. Depending on what hell. If you're new. And they might find me too. They'll waste time looking for you. And they might find me too. Hi, thank you. Thank you for that thumbs up. Okay, and they might find me too, depending on what evidence, depending on this new evidence. If there really is new. See, he wouldn't say if there really is new evidence because he believes it. If you give them your friends new evidence, if you give them your friends new evidence, if you give them your friends, if you give them the new evidence. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh God. Oh no, right. I'm so sorry, you don't know. George made it all up. He was just trying to bait you, lure you up. Just trying to bait you. Okay. What? What? Yeah, that's... See, that's the thing. See, that's like, that's kind of the end of the scene. But then I really want to get this part where Xena tries to talk to him. Um, do we really need this stuff about the new evidence? I think because I want to know how we know that. How we know that. How we know. Because I want to know how we know that. See, I kind of feel like far weirder. I think more weird. I've never. This is the first time. I've never. Yeah. Yeah. I think all this goes away. I just took out the whole thing where they explained to him that the evidence wasn't real. So therefore, it was just too much of a bit of information that didn't really change the dynamic, and it's actually going to make it better, because later when they're like, this guy's going to come after us, and Madeline could say, but we don't have any evidence, and he doesn't know that, so that's good. So boom, boom, boom. Oh, look, I didn't get rid of a lot of it. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's that's very good to hear. I mean, what you want most in life is to do something that's worth watching twice. Okay, we should tell the police it wasn't him. Please don't. No, please don't. Why not? Why not? It's better. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because they'll want it. Because how do we know? Because how do we know? Because how do we know? Because how do we know that? Because how do we know that? Yes, you see, that's better. That's better. Because how do we know that? Yes, exactly. Is this? Because now they're trying to figure out, well, what do we do with this weird moment of information? Is this as weird? Far more weird. Far more weird. I am sure. Far more weird, I think. I don't think he's going to bother to say he hasn't talked to anyone about it. First of all, I don't want to necessarily make that the case. Maybe he did talk to someone about it. Maybe the person he loved knows. Okay, we're like the only ones who really understand you. I have so many questions. I have one, but it's a big... Well, hang on. Is it okay if I record this? Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that film courage thing turned out to be the best thing I ever did for this teaching gig. because a lot of people have watched that. Something weird happened with the algorithm. Nobody knows. They don't know. I don't know. But for some reason, that particular video took off. And that's actually a lesson about the algorithm. The lesson about the algorithm is nobody knows. Nobody once when something becomes algorithmically popular for whatever reason, whatever triggers it, whatever once something becomes popular, that makes it more popular. Popularity creates success, creates popularity, it's this whole thing. If you are put up on the numbers, then more people are curious about you, so they check you out, so therefore your numbers actually go up. So that's the biggest problem with popularity, if you ask me, is that people are popular, things are popular because they are popular. That is not necessarily the best reason. So anyway. If you didn't kill George, who did? All right, so that's a good question. Well, this is just like Praise City. Yes, the repeating emphasis and colorful slogans is actually a deliberate plan. It's a choice. So you are more than welcome. Thank you for that could be the amount of time spent watching this video. Don't tune away. That is how music's play it over and people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But thank you. By the way, just I cannot tell you how gratifying it is to hear the things I intended to work. That's, by the way, the honest best thing that a writer can have happen to them. Money is lovely, such as it is, that I've gotten has been great, but honestly, the thing that makes you feel like, oh, I got this right, is when somebody says, oh, that thing about this thing you did, that was cool, and it's a thing you intended. That's it. It's just that simple. If it's something that you didn't intend, you don't feel quite like you own it. But if it's like, oh, I think if I do these things with bright colored slogans and repeat them and stuff, it'll help. And then somebody says, oh, the bright colored slogans helped. Man, that's a good feeling. Okay. Far more weird, I think. We're like the only ones who really understand. You have so many questions. I have one, but it's a big one. Well, hang on. Is it okay if I record this part of our content? No, it's not okay. How about this? How about this? Or daunted. Or if you didn't kill George, who did? Whoa. Oh, right. That's Madeline, not Zena. Zena's into her own thing. Or if you didn't. Whoa, right. Yeah, I was wondering that. Somebody pointed the cops right at you. Who did that and why? You should team up with us. To catch me? No, to clear your name. I don't think so. Then people are going to think you're a killer. I just wanted Mrs. Roisman to know. I understand and I appreciate it. Okay. I understand. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is actually getting right. Okay, comments here. Videos did showing while telling very well. Cool. Yes, brilliant gems of knowledge. Thank you. That is somewhat embarrassing to hear. If you can't, okay. Actually, I gotta say, if you can't answer these questions, you don't have a story. That's actually not true. You could easily have a story without those 6 questions. I didn't write that headline. Film Courage did. God bless them. It was a beautiful thing that they did it. It means that part of why I think people jumped on it is because they're like, ooh, if I can answer these 6 questions, I'm safe, which is not really what I wanted to say. Well, thank you, Kenny. I really appreciate that. The idea that you use the process is really, that's the point. It's just a tool. It's a thing to use when you don't know what to do. That is the only thing I have to offer. Tools to use when you're not on a roll, when you don't feel it, when you that's what you need. Otherwise, you're good. Do whatever it is that works for you. Write whatever it is you want to write. That's fine. You're good without me for that. The only thing I'm here for is when you're not getting what you want, this is stuff to try. That's the big picture. Okay. I understand. I appreciate it. Thank you. Take care. Okay. Cool. Look, we got down to 66 pages. I am now pretty much in the safe zone. I mean, if I had to leave this at 66, I could. That's not bad. Sometimes you overwrite a little bit, and people won't not read it because it's 66 pages if it was supposed to be 60. I mean, yes, if you're in a slush pile and you've got an extra 10 pages, people might be like, no, but they're just looking for a reason not to read things. If you have an agent, if you're a respected writer, you can actually go over them. If you're not, try to stay under. Look at that. Drops the phone into the water. I am emphasizing for just because it helps the reader. Boom, drops it into the water. Cool. Yay, good. Look at this. We've only got a couple more pages. This is unbelievable. I am actually shocked at myself. This is a weird thing that does happen. It's like you suddenly, all of a sudden, it gets easier because you've got enough of it with enough momentum and enough clarity. It's like, oh, I know who these people are and I know what this episode is. For instance, in these scenes that I just edited, it's one scene, I cut out 2 big sections which were taking the scene out of its tracks. The truth is that the tracks didn't need all that information being passed back and forth for everybody to be caught up. They did not need to be caught up fully at this point in the story because there's a lot of time yet to come. So what I really like about what I just did is this scene now, Deakins has a very clear mission. He was just calling to give this one message and be believed. That was his action. And he sticks to it. He opens up a little bit because he's surprised that these people know and care about what he is and what he did, even though they want to catch him. And so taking out that stuff where they were catching him up, giving him, where he was giving them information and they were giving him information, so they all knew each other really well, that was better removed. But at the time that I first wrote it, it seemed like it was necessary. Now the scene has a track, which is this guy is reaching out, he's disordering all of their universes, but he has one mission to accomplish, and he does it. And all of Xena's efforts to connect for her own goals are knocked aside. That's a good scene now. Is barely daunted. Don't need it. It's obvious. She's going to take the action. See, the action of facing a painful silence and going, or is her barely done. Or if you didn't kill George, who did? Whoa, right. Yeah, I was wondering that. Okay, this is not bad. He disconnects. Okay. So, boom. And we can take boom. And we put this dialogue here. Okay. Okay, this Shrimpton isn't there. We've got Dundosky, who could conceivably say this because he is the one who's out for justice. And weirdly, it does not have to be personal revenge for him. So, wait, are we seriously not going to the police? To tell the police? Interesting. Yes. Okay, so. Wait, are we seriously not going to tell the police? Actually, I kind of like that Dundosky's the one who says that, because he is, after all, a criminal. We have evidence that might help the police catch a serial killer. Retired serial killer. Is there such a thing? He stopped. He stopped. He said it. He stopped. He said it. He stopped. He said it. He stopped. Retired serial killer. Is there such a thing? And doesn't he have to pay? Doesn't he still have to pay for what he did? Nice. This is a good question. Okay. The soap shop. Interesting. Okay. Deacons turns off the alarm. Switches on lights. Turns off, turns on. Lights and the folk Americana music. But he is distracted. Which of your videos would you see? The one that I am writing currently on plot twists. Briefly, I'll summarize what that is, what I say in that, because it's a fair question. This is a preview of what that's going to say. Hang on a second. Let me open it so I can get to that script. I'm writing the scripts for new videos, and that's one of them in the works. Plot twists. Here we go. Hang on. Okay. The first thing you need to know about plot twists. All right, let's talk plot twists. Briefly. Okay. Here's the thing about plot twists. The first thing is, do you have to have one? And the answer is no. No. Okay. But by the way, I am identifying plot twist. I'm defining it specifically as an event or revelation. So it's either some bit of news or something that happens that makes you understand the story in a whole new way. If there is, every plot has a lot of twists in the sense that things happen and things change and things go where you didn't think. That happens all the time. That's just plots. Plots have change, and that's twists. But what we're talking about is a plot twist where, like, whoa, this person who you thought was, the grandmother is actually the wolf. That kind of thing. Something that not every story has those. Not every story should have them. Because the thing about a plot twist that is the biggest danger of a plot twist is it means you only have half the room to develop any thoughts or feelings that you couldn't have, because half of the story is going to be revealed or changed to not be true anymore. And so the biggest thing that you have to think about is when you give a plot twist, whatever's on one side of that plot twist, you have to get fully engaged with, believable, feel whatever you're going to feel about it, because on the other side of it, that's not going to be true anymore. And whatever's happening in the second part after the twist, you have to catch up and get into it and understand it and believe it and feel the things about it. But you don't have as much room. Okay? That's the danger of plot twists, is that they cut your ability to be emotional, they cut your ability to be smart, they cut your ability to be deep. I know that people don't think that, but that's actually the truth. For instance, without giving too much away, let's talk about the plot twist of the Sixth Sense, okay? And without spoilering, the plot twist of that story is revealed in such a way that you never get to think about it or ask any questions about it. Like everything that it's like, oh my gosh, this is true. And then that's it. You don't explore that fact, that reality, that truth, that experience at all. So yes, you can go back and see some things that have like a double meaning, but the truth is, on the other side of that plot twist is just a shallow kick. So that's the first thing about plot twists. The other thing, so not all stories need them. But the main thing about them is there's two kinds. There's the event or the revelation. In other words, if you've got like in Psycho, okay? I'm really trying not to spoil anything here, but in Psycho, you spend a good hunk of the story following a certain storyline with a certain character. And then all of a sudden, that character is not the center of the story anymore. Other people are. I think I'm handling this very well, by the way, not spoiling. So the thing is, that's an event. That's a shock. That's a event twist where like something happens where it's like all of a sudden the story that you thought it was is not. There are other later twists in that particular story where things are revealed. However, most of the shocks in most of the twists in Psycho are shocking events, things that happen which take the plot in an unexpected, unseen direction. There are other plot twists, like The Sixth Sense, where the twist is a revelation. It's seeing something that you didn't see before, but it was there. So you have to decide which kind you're doing. And then you got to think about who's doing it, why are they doing it, because the plot twist can happen to the characters, in other words, they find themselves facing something they didn't expect, or they learn something they didn't know. Or in certain stories, like in The Prestige, the plot twist isn't really happening to the people. It's happening to the audience because they were told the story in a certain way so as to keep information away from them. And at the end, they are learning, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that they were keeping secrets from me in this story. And that explains how these things happened. None of these are good or bad. It's not like this is the right way or the wrong way. However, it is important to think about, what is my plot twist? Is it an action or is it a revelation? And is it for the characters or is it for the audience? But the other main really important thing that you need to think about is you have to be absolutely convincing on both sides of the twist. In other words, you can't there are often stories where you have a plot twist, but frankly, the lead up to the plot twist is because the people who do the plot twist know that there's a better thing coming, they kind of make the first part boring or predictable or shallow because they're all excited about the twist. Or they are so excited by the thing that they are revealing that they don't really explore it very deeply. So the most important thing about a plot twist is you need to fully engage yourself and the audience with the wrong story. Both stories have to be true to the audience. They have to completely feel and believe the truth of whichever half of the story they are in. And they have to be able to understand that that's switched. That's the game. So you have to make sure that you are telling a satisfying story on both sides of the twist, no matter where it comes. In Psycho, it's about a third of the way in. In Sixth Sense and Prestige, it's at the end. But even if there's only a few minutes, or in Sixth Sense case, a few seconds before after that information comes, you need to make you need to make sure that the version on either side is satisfying. Should someone watch it again, or should someone think back on it? That is the key. Yes, there is absolutely a set time, and that time is Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is the time. However, I would also say something else is here. If you want, if you are subscribed to my channel, there is a little bell icon, which I do not have a graphic of, but if you look next to subscribed, there's a little bell icon. Click on that, and they will send you an email every time I go live, like the minute it happens. So if that helps. Okay. All right. So does that help you? I hope it does, because I like having you guys here. It's nice. Okay. So yes, Kenny, yes, that was a world premiere sneak peek of the plot twists video coming. Struggled originally writing pilot scripts coming from screenplays. Pilots are setting up characters, so slowly ending with a big moment that opens up the series. That is exactly true. Screenplay is a very fast story and a closed ending, and has a good free lectures on stage 32. TV play created. Good. That is good to know. And yes, they are different psychologies, different understandings of storytelling between a pilot and a feature. Okay. My favorite plot twist for me is when a plot twist is revealed and there's a second layer of other unexpected plot twists. Yes. There is the thing about plot twists is they can be a lot of fun, but there's a couple of there's things that you have to watch out for. A, it means that very often it's not that much fun to watch it a second time. The really good ones, it is. Like you're like, oh, that's so satisfying, I can watch it over and over again. But a lot of them, it's like once you know, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Psycho does have, it has two. Yeah, it has two. It has two. And then it has a lot of other. Here's the important thing to remember. Plot happens without twists. Like plot has changes and revelations and unexpected events, and that's all just plot. That's just plotting. That's not a plot twist. A plot twist is a reveal or an event that is like, okay, everything you thought up to now is not true. There's another truth. That's a plot twist. Okay. You're welcome. I will look forward to it too. It will be a while. Yes. Okay. So there we go. Look at that. We have managed to get some fun and information in here, and at the same time, I got within throw-in distance of I'm in the last 3 pages of the script, the polish, which means, at least this pass through the polish, which means I'm probably going to get to finish it tomorrow, and that's something to look forward to. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Zone is when I show up here, unless something comes up, as things do that mean I can't make it. But otherwise, I will be here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific Time Zone. And in the meantime, until then, go write something.